Just like his face in this photo, it's time to punch the ticket on the career of Canelo Alvarez, who has displayed the most fraudulent representation as a champion in the sport of boxing. Here, let's cover the latest in the ridiculous news of what's going on and what his motivations for the future happen to be. This happens to be the so-called face of boxing. Canelo Alvarez, super middleweight champion, undisputed. And this editorial is about what in the world is going on with this fighter and the fact that he is not facing the quality of opposition available to him in the sport, and he is not being held accountable for his neglect for upholding championship status. With his current record of 59 wins, 2 losses, 2 draws, 39 KOs, this undisputed champion, Alvarez, is seeking to fight anyone that he can make a solid payday against without any risk toward having another loss on his record. His most recent loss was against Dimitri Bivol, where he lost a unanimous decision to Bivol, and there was a proposed rematch on the table, but Alvarez elected to not take the rematch and went on and fought Gennady Golovkin for a 3rd time in a fight that not only was too many years past an expiration date, but it showed how much Canelo is disinterested in facing quality opposition. Bivol happened to be someone whom he had selected and thought he would get away with it. But there was a factor even he had not considered: his own age. Not simply the age he is in birth years, but where he is in boxing. Because Canelo, with 60 plus fights on his dossier, is an old fighter now. And there are other fighters who are out there chomping at the bit to get an opportunity at the WBC, WBA, WBO, IBF, and Ring magazine titles that he happens to hold. So, what does he do? He continues toward legacy padding. Legacy padding, meaning fighting fights that he wants to fight with none of the sanctioning bodies holding him accountable for not facing the contenders who are readily available to him. When you talk about the likes of, through the ratings, fighters like David Benavidez, Caleb Plant, Christian Mabili, David Morrell, John Ryder, whom he recently fought, Eric Bazanian, Vladimir Shishkin, Anthony Durrell, and Zach Parker. Those are the men who round out the top 10. He's looking to face none. And there is a problem. Canelo, who has also succumbed to popping dirty for performance-enhancing drugs, was never held accountable for it, and the WBC for what he popped dirty for, clenbuterol, raised the account levels of it in your system so that he can continue to either use that drug or anything similar, and he wouldn't pop dirty again. We're not even mentioning the franchise entitlement that he received, so he didn't have to face certain contenders. All of this is stringing along a fighter who is more than privileged in the division of super middleweights, but his status is being held and safeguarded. He has talked about not facing any Mexican fighters because he represents Mexico. Where do they do that at? Mexican fighters have always contributed to the sport of boxing heavily, and you have had so many who were so good that you had a pick of the litter. But he exclusively fights matches nobody asked for. He's not looking to face quality contenders. He's not looking for the opportunities to make legendary matchups. He only wants to get the secured bag, which he's constantly being fed. They never hold him accountable for returns. They don't talk about what his box office receipts are. And it's never what you might think it is. It's always far less. Why does this man receive the privilege that he receives? Instead of facing whom he should, a rematch with Bivol, because Bivol put the terms of let's fight for your titles, not the same arrangement as before. He's now seeking to go up to cruiserweight to face Badou Jack for the WBC cruiserweight title. How unfair is that to a fighter like Dimitri Bivol when Bivol has been put in a place where he now has a name for defeating Canelo, but Canelo doesn't want to acknowledge what he has done to contribute to this. Face the man in a rematch. Badou Jack is 200 pounds, but you want to face him for his cruiserweight title. None of the men in your own division, no one else at 175, but you want to chase all the way up to 200 pounds. You also do not want to face Artur Bitterbeef. So what gives, Canelo? What gives? The thought of now going up even to a higher weight to face someone like Badou Jack, and understanding the fact that there was no way that you wanted to face Dimitri Bivol for a second time due to Bivol's competitiveness, and honestly, a cherry pick gone wrong. It has to be acknowledged. But still, the game's to be played, because rumor has it that Canelo wants to pull Jack down to nearly 168 pounds, if not 175 or 170 plus, which Jack hasn't fought at that weight in a decade. So you still see the games being played by this privileged fighter. It's all a charade with Canelo. And when you think of it at the end of the day, he's not going to be remembered for the positive things in boxing. He'll be remembered for not very much. What do you think? This is Stormy B-Man. Shout out to the mighty LDBC and Liberated Perspective, a third eye view of the world. For more content such as this, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. Let me know what you think about this fraudulent legacy that Canelo is compiling. Leave comments. Peace to everyone out there, and everyone please remain safe.